Hi everyone, it's Russian Girl, and today I'm gonna show you the apartment of my parents. I hope that you've already seen the video on my channel about our apartment, the apartment where my family and I live, but the apartment of my parents is quite different. It's also located in Saint Petersburg, but it's very well furnished and it's nice, you will see. So if you're interested, if you want to see how well established in life Russians live, continue watching this video.
This is the district where I spent all my childhood actually. There is my school over there inside of the houses. This is the metro station. You can see that all these houses are from Soviet Union. So they are very old, they are not high. And for example, comparing to our district where I live with my husband now, you can see only big buildings, tall buildings there. And here, no, it's really different. It's mostly old buildings. And this is the house of my parents, so we'll enter now. This is the hospital. This one. You know, my mom told me that there is now the new type of cameras that can see if you have a belt, and second, if you are talking by phone while driving. And for this, you can get a fee if you're talking or if you're without a belt. So safety measures. I arrived. That's why I'm already without belt. And let's go. And you know, maybe it's gonna be interesting for you. What are the fees in Russia? I mean, for driving. How much is that? And actually it's pretty small. For example, if you overcome a speed limit, for example, the speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour in the city, it's 60 kilometers per hour, but without a fee you can drive up to 80 kilometers per hour. So there is like 20 kilometers gap. So if you overcome this 20 kilometers gap and you're driving more than 80 kilometers per hour, you get a fee of 600 rubles. It's around $7-8. If you overcome more than 20 kilometers per hour, for example, you overcome for 40 kilometers per hour, then the fee is 2 times higher. All the buildings have this kind of machines for a call. Это я. My parents also have a camera in this machine. This is how typical house looks like from inside. Look, in this house they have 2 elevators. In our house we have 3 because it's bigger. And this is an old house, so you can see that it's not really like beautiful. It's a little old. All the mirrors are not as new as I would love them to be. Cameras, of course. So yeah, about the fees. That's the fee that we have for parking. The fees are higher. If you're parked in the place where you cannot be parked, you can get, for example, my last fee, stupid fee, was 4,000 rubles. It's around like $50 for parking, but for speed it's not that much. For the belt, I don't know how, and for talking by phone, I don't know how much they will give now because they're pretty new. Another door with another doorbell. And here we have apartments. So here we are. We just entered right here. This is the corridor where we leave the jackets and the shoes, of course, because everywhere in Russia the shoes are always left in the corridor. We never enter in the shoes in the main apartment. And the important moment is that you have to understand that first of all is the apartment in Saint Petersburg, Russia. So Moscow, Saint Petersburg are big cities. That's why if you watch other videos from
I don't know, the apartments in small towns, of course they're going to be different. They're going to be so different. Just for you to understand that not all people in all Russia live in this way, because this apartment is quite above average, because my dad has his own company and it gives him money. We're not millionaires, but we're people who can travel. Where people, for example, I was studying in one very good university in Russia, and so I mean in this way. And yeah, let's go. So here is the big cupboard. The company of my dad, they actually make these kind of doors, and also the other doors for the toilet. So all the doors, like moving doors that you will see in this apartment, is from my dad's company. This is Lloydie. By the way, Lloydie, this breed is American, he's not Bull, American Staffordshire Terrier, something like this. But this breed was created in America. So no, of course he didn't come from America. He's a really kind boy. So in this cupboard, you see all the jackets for all the seasons that you need for all my family now in this apartment. My mom, my dad, and my sister, they live all together. So all the jackets, all the shoes for all the seasons, the part for the hat, some toys, accessories, and etc. Lady, here we have a special room for the washing machine, some soap, some cleaning stuff, the vacuum cleaner, some heater, and also this is the heat water, the machine for to heat the water. And as you may know from my other videos, that in Saint Petersburg, in the towns, we have all the water, electricity centralized, heating centralized, meaning that it comes to each building, to each apartment. So you can ask for which reason then there is a heating machine. So this is an additional machine that you may not see in every apartment. So if people want, they buy it additionally and put, for the reason that in summer, in all St. Petersburg, I cannot say about other cities, but in all St. Petersburg, in summer, they put off hot water for around 2 weeks to clean all the tubes that, like, from which come the hot water. And that is why for 2 weeks in summer, we don't have hot water, we have just cold water. It's not a problem in the way that in summer we don't use heaters, so it's like, because it's warm. But if you want to take a hot shower, you need this kind of machine to warm up water additionally and use it just in your apartment. Moving forward, this is the living room, the heart of every house. The living room is pretty normal, but quite big. Here is the mirror. This all is mirror. Very beautiful lights are right here. We will turn it on now. Here it goes. I really like this lights. And also here are also some lights. In this apartment, my parents put a lot of different lights. I really like all the design that you see in this apartment, all the designer solutions, interior solutions, they were created by my mom. She's not a designer, but she really likes to create the interior inside of the places. So the armchair, the sofa, some blankets, and the balcony. Today is a really beautiful day because it's sunny. It's still winter, so this is the hospital that I showed you from the car, the road, and right there is a very big park, really beautiful one. And in summer, I mean, now it's not really beautiful because you cannot see the green trees, green leaves, because it's winter and all trees are without the leaves. But all in all, the TV, all in all, that's how it looks like. My mom has a collection of cats from different countries that she has been to. And this is a 3D printed cat. So they printed it in 3D, on 3D printer, and the dog already bited him a few times. This big painting, I made it from sparkling pieces for my mom's birthday when I was a child.
Also, here is the first bathroom. Here we go. The shower cabin, toilet, some pictures for the design, candles. I've never seen that my parents were using them, so just the decorations. And a big mirror. What I really love in this apartment is mirrors. They're really perfect. Lloyd decided to follow me everywhere. So, also in this apartment, my parents have sauna. This is not like banya that you could see in my one of my videos about Russian banya. This is more like sauna, so the air inside is really warm and dry. Here is the electrical kind of chimney. Now it doesn't work, but when my parents want to go and warm up themselves a little, they use this sauna. Сидеть. Зайка. Молодец, хороший мальчик, молодец. I'm gonna try lychee. Even in Russia you can find this tropical fruit.
Hay otro muchacho que está aplicando. No me acuerdo los nombres, hermano.
So in this apartment, I spent all my childhood. We moved here when I was 6 years old because I was studying because I was studying in the school nearby. And so before we were living in another apartment, an old one, and then we moved here, and I was living here until I was like 19 years old. In Russia we have this, it's not a tradition, but it's when you get out from the house of your parents in like early 20s. Yes, so when you're like 22, 23, 25, when you're 25, it's better that you already moved out. Why? I don't know, just because in Russia we like to be independent. We like to have our own place, take care of our own place. Of course, there are like some like more responsibilities when you live by yourself. But also, of course, you're living not on the money of your parents. No, you have to have your own job. I was combining studies, full-time studies, my bachelor's degree, and job. It was at summer, it was full-time job. During the studying year, it was part-time job, but still I got money. Just when you live alone here, I remember I was spending like no more than $200 per month for food, for like transport. Public transport is not expensive. So I moved out of here from when I was 19 because at that time I was studying in the university, and in this year I went to the UK to study as an exchange student for half of the year, and after that I came to Denmark. So when I came back from Denmark, I had one more year to study here in Russia. And so I decided to move out, and my parents gave me this chance because my parents had different apartments in the city, and they said, okay, they didn't give me as a gift this apartment, but they said, okay, you can live if you're financially able to pay for everything for yourself, for the communal fees of the apartment, for your food, for the transport. So if you can really live alone, okay, you can take the apartment and you can just live alone. So that's what I made. And in my apartment, the apartment that you have seen in my first video on this channel, I was living, there are 2 rooms, and I found another girl who was also a student, and she was renting 1 room in this apartment, and basically from this money that she was paying for me for rent, I was paying the communal fees, like $100, $150, something like that. So that's how it was, and until now, yes, I'm living in this apartment now with my husband, with my son. But here, right here, I spent all my childhood. Let's move forward. So here is the kitchen. My mom was Giovanito. She was taking care of me, of him, of me as well, but before, and now of him, because we were making some documents for my husband. Some toys, the dog. This is the cage of the dog, because this breed, they really like to destroy everything. That's why in the night he stays there. He has water, he has all the pillows there, so he's really comfortable. But in the night, for him not to destroy the apartment, not to do something like this, so that's why he has this cage. Да, Лойди. Ой. So here we also have, you already said hello to my followers.
Hola, mi amor. Hola, mi amor. Hola, gente, ¿cómo están?
Say in English.
Hello, people. Welcome to Russia. Come to visit the most beautiful and strange culture in the world.
Strange?
But most beautiful.
Why
Beautiful,
strange? Here you can see some medicine and the photo of my previous dog. Before we had this cat and this dog. Now they died. I really love my dog. He was like my son. And now this man doesn't want to buy me a dog because he said that one child is enough and we cannot have a dog. I really want to have a dog. I really love big dogs. For example, this dog is kind of small for me. I want a bigger dog like that one. It was a large schnauzer or Rottweiler. My husband really likes Rottweilers, but now he doesn't want to buy a dog. Want to have problems with me? Kitchen all is as usual: the fridge, the oven, microwave, the cooker, the TV, and the big windows. As I told you, in Russia we really like big windows. This is the place of the cat. We will try to find her now. The small cupboard with alcohol of my dad. Oh, look, Jägermeister. Actually, he doesn't have any vodka here, I think. No, maybe this bottle is with vodka. So my husband just reminded me that I have to tell you about the water. This bottle.
What do people think? It's good bring the bottle water from the dacha, or is better just buy here?
Yes, what my family and I do, I mean my family, my parents and my family now, my husband, we bring these bottles from the country house. I have the video about the country house as well on my channel. So why we do that? Because of course in the city we have this tap water. This is tap water. It's like, it's not that it's forbidden to drink it. No, you can drink it, but you know, because it's from the big tubes, it's centralized water power or something. It's better not, because they don't clean it very well. That's why there is these things, but again, they clean water better, but again, not that good. That's why we made like the expertise. We brought our water from the countryside to the laboratory for them to check this water, because we have this big, in the countryside, our own tube, and the water, the underground water is coming. And from this tube, we have their pump that gives water to all our house, and also we can drink our water. And in the laboratory, they said that this water is a really good one, so that it's healthy, it doesn't have any bad metals in it. And I really feel the difference in taste. My husband doesn't, but I do feel. That's why I prefer to take from dacha. Yes, it's more bags, it's more like heavy things to bring to dacha and back. But I really prefer to drink. I really prefer that my son also drinks this water, much better than just tap water. Man who cannot live without work, and I love him for that. Okay, let's move forward. Here we will enter really quietly, because this is the room of my sister and she's studying now. So let's just have a quick look. In this room before we had two beds. It was completely different. When I was living here, we were staying together, my sister and I, and we had two beds, and we were, all my life we were living together in this room. But now is the kingdom of my sister. Sister said to get out because I'm disturbing her. Another mirror. This is actually a cupboard again for all this stuff. Some medicine, this is the iron. What else? Some gifts boxes, and the part with the second one with some photos. These are photo albums. Here we enter to the second toilet. Lloyd is helping us. And in this toilet we have, it's a bathroom, we have toilet and we have jacuzzi. My dad really loves jacuzzi. This is the old one. So I mean, in total this apartment has worked like more than 15 years. So, but still, it looks pretty nice as for me. And the last room in this house is the bedroom of my parents, of course. And here we go. Another TV. They never watch it actually. And the big bed. I think it's a king size bed with some statues from some countries. Another cupboard with mirrors. In Russia we really do love cupboards with mirrors because I mean it's convenient. It's kind of a cupboard, but at the same time you can see yourself, what you're wearing, how you're wearing, etc. Just a lot of clothes here of my mom and of my dad. And also from this room we can enter to the cabinet, working cabinet of my dad. I mean, he usually doesn't work here. He has his office, but when he needs to do something from home, he has a computer just in case, because you know, he's a director. He needs to be online all the time. He needs to answer some questions and maybe do some calls, some stuff. I actually don't know what is here. And from this window you can see these old buildings that I was showing you on the way from Soviet time. And my school was somewhere right there behind, actually behind of these buildings, somewhere inside. So it is still working, and it's not that far away, you know. Every day I was walking to the school and back. So we have this tradition here that children, they go to the nearest school to the place where they live, and they usually just walk because the schools are really close. Of course, if you don't want, for some reason, if you don't want to go to the school that is close to your house, you can apply to any other school, but in this way maybe you will need to spend more time to get to that place. And I was studying in public school. My sister now is studying in private school just because she has some difficulties in public school. In public school, they have really kind of strict system of education, not flexible at all. There is no individual approach, and that's why for my sister it's a little difficult, and that's why they decided to study in private online school. She has all the lessons online. But me, I was studying in public school all my life. And I mean, of course, there were some difficult times, there were some disagreements with professors, with the classmates, but it's everywhere. And it has some pictures. This is my sister when she was small. This is me when I was small. I think here I was like in the 3rd grade, like 10 years old. And my parents when they were young. In Russia, parents grow up, raise their children in the way for children to be independent, and to be able to solve issues that they may have. What I mean by that, for example, when I was talking to my husband, he told me that when they were children in Latin America, they were like 3 children, 2 boys, 1 girl, and mom and dad, of course, the family. And their dad, he was taking care of his children in the way that he didn't let them do anything. He was doing everything by himself because he had really hard childhood, and he wanted his children to live their best childhood, not to be bothered by anything. And especially the sister of my brother, she was the only girl, I mean the only daughter, and he was really taking care of her. He was treating her like she's a princess. And that is something that I have never seen here in Russia. I mean, we're not feminists here. We're more like traditional values and family, traditional roles, traditional genders. But our parents, no matter if you're a girl, if you're a boy, they try to give us the understanding of what work is, how hard it can be,
for us to value what we have. For example, when we were coming to the country house every weekend, my family, it was us, the daughters, me and my sister. My sister is younger than me by 9 years, my mom and my dad. And we had to take a lot of bags with us, of course, each weekend. And some bags were heavy, some bags are not really heavy. But always my dad, my mom, they were asking my sister and us to help with the things. Of course, if it's super heavy and the child cannot take it, it was like they were not asking us to have to take this kind of bags. But overall, it was not like we were just walking with no bags and my dad, for example, was taking everything. That is not true. How that would be in Latin America, for example, in the family of my husband, their dad would come several times to the car to take the things. For them, not to take much. In my family, no, we prefer to, have to use all work, all power, or all labor that is possible. We even have a joke that you have to use children labor. No, how is that? You don't have to forget to use children labor, in the way that children always have to help their parents. And I think that this is something good, in the way that, I mean, again, I would love and I'm making everything to raise my son in this way, for him to help me with some normal, how you call it, chores, like things, tasks that you have to do at home to take care of home. For example, clean the floors or wash the dishes, or, well, maybe cook, but not much. So I really want my son to help me a lot with that, for him to understand and to value what I'm, as a mom, do for him, what his dad does for him, that it's work, that it's something that has value, that we put effort to do that. And you understand it only when you try it by yourself, right? Example is that when I was a child, I really wanted to have a dog, and this big black dog that you saw on the picture, my parents bought me this dog. It was my dog completely. I was training him, I was taking care of him. When I was 10 years old, they bought him for me, but I was asking for a dog since I was 3 years old or 4 years old. And all this time my parents were like, okay, but you need to take care of the dog. It's not that we are buying a dog and we will walk him, we will feed him, we will train him. No, you will be responsible for that. And my mom also put one condition for me to have a dog. I had to clean all the apartment, and this is a pretty big apartment, it's like around 100 square meters. I had to clean this apartment 2 times per week, because from a dog you had some like sand from the streets, even though I was cleaning his paws, but still some sand, some wool. And my parents, they love clean house, and that's why my mom told me that, okay, we're buying you a dog after so many years of you asking, but at the same time you will need to take care of the house after the dog. And that's what I was doing. Like how much, like 10 or 11 years that he was living here, I was living here with him. And that's how are the things here, that you need to take responsibility for what you have, you need to put effort, you need to make things. But I think that it is good, because again, that's why we are disciplined, we are hardworking, and I mean that's how you become successful in life, right? You need discipline, you need to put effort into the things, you need to be self-determined. So this was a quick overview of the apartment of my parents, and now we're going back home. I hope that you liked this little tour. Tell me if you have any questions in the comments. I will be more than happy to answer that. And also tell me what else in Russia you would like to know about. I'll see you in the next videos. Bye!